So, Tokyo Ravens. And for the most part, I was like, oh, okay. You get this fun story. You get this weird thing with this character. And I was like, okay. For the beginning, it was like, okay. It's not bad. It's just a fun, no bad. But when they slowly start bringing in this point, it starts to be like, okay. And I thought something, but I'm going to bring that up later. But it was just one of those things where it's like how usually something works, and I might have just overthought it to the point where I think I saw something coming that I didn't thought. I don't know. But what happened was essentially in the show you have these sort of like you have like these things. I don't know what they fully are. It's like sort of like cleansing and sort of spiritual in nature. And it is spirits because they say they're spirits here. And it's really good. The action is really good and really interesting. And as you slowly build up, you slowly build this sort of mystery. Now, the one thing which I thought was really odd, but sort of I rolled with, was one of the characters. Because, okay. One of the characters is this character who sort of, this one here, who's a reincarnation of male. And now I'm going to fully just be like, okay, gender, remove the topic. But the one thing which is interesting, I thought it was a unique idea being like, the fact that like, you have the spirits that they reincarnated. I was like, huh. Wouldn't the fact that like you reincarnate as sort of like a near copy, except Doctor Who, because Doctor Who has other stuff, and you do have some reincarnation shows which go against what I'm about to say. But some reincarnations is like you're basically the same, except like a couple of details like hair, eyes, this. Then you have Avatar, which throws it out of the water, so I might have just been dumb. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Doing like a male reincarnated into a female. I don't know why I thought this. I was stupid. One, that shouldn't matter because shows like Avatar exist, which do it on a much more obvious scale. Avatar reincarnations into Korra, which is much more clearer, but that and more oddly, besides the point. But then this one was released as like, I liked the twist, but I was like, did I see that? Because for some reason in my head it was like, it's almost like this one was reincarnated. But most likely I thought that was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm not as smart as I'm making this sound. This makes it sound like I was ahead of everything. No, I was just a dumbass who was like, oh, that's odd. I don't know if this is stupid. It's most likely stupid. Because I'm bringing up something that's irrelevant to this into the review. Obviously, everyone is who they say they are. If you say you're this and you say you're that. Discussion over. Point. Who cares? You are what you say. Fully admit. But I just, somehow my brain just glitched like, huh. Because I watched Avatar The Last Airbender, I should have realised that's a thing. So, besides me being a dumbass, this show's awesome. I do like the action. I do like this. And as it slowly builds up to certain things, the one thing I like is this guy here is not really the smartest. And the one thing I love, which is really interesting, and I kind of overthought, because I thought like, one person's like, oh, I talked to someone who was male, and they're this, and she's trying to pretend to be male because of the customs that are actually trying to save them. It's a whole thing really confusing. It's to protect this guy and pretend he doesn't exist, and it's kind of odd. But like, there's a scene where it's like, oh yeah, I talked to someone, and I thought like, yeah, you don't really understand. I thought he was actually being like, you don't understand. I remember it, but she doesn't. But we can't say she doesn't because we're trying to pretend that she is a male for plot reasons. There are plot reasons, but it's kind of confusing.
Most common.
Okay. But yeah, I definitely 100% recommend to watch this.